Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
This question is for Ramabad Swami. My question was, there is a lot of push in the United States right now amongst the leaders to go out and preach to the Americans. And let's reach out to the Americans. This is Marshall Prabhupada came here. I have a conflict in running this temple in Atlanta where you have the whole Indian congregation, they're part of our community, and they put out 99.9% of the money to pay the bills. And our preaching, the stress is on preach to the Americans. So now, I'm just wondering if the GBC, North American GBCs are sitting together and trying to figure out a way to find a balance. Because there's definitely disgruntled parties on both sides. So I hope this will be addressed.
Just some bullet points. You have a particular GBC who particularly emphasizes this particular point very strongly. At the same time, it is something that our leaders in North America, not just leaders, thinking of individuals. Pratushravan and Donna Kelly, he was the president of the Chicago Temple that has big Indian population. He stopped, resigned as the president so that he and his wife could travel and preach at the colleges. And they're finding, guess what, it's really difficult to preach to the Americans on the college campus. So a short answer then is, as a leader, you have to take care of everyone, and those persons who are taking care of the temple are the families that you're responsible for those people. Find somebody or somebody's, a group of people, that can take charge of that, and you nurture that through Harinam, yoga centers, etc., etc. Find a strategy, support the strategy, work with that. And it's going to take time. But I'll just, a comment in closing, because there was a period of time, because I go to colleges since day one of Krishna consciousness, and in the past decade, just going to any college campus, there's a shift in short. Go to any college campus, put up a generic poster that says, karma and reincarnation, and vegetarian. So, non-resident Indian students would be 90% of the people that would come, whereas a decade before it was the other way around. And now there's a shift. So, you take care of those individuals who are part of your charge. They're taking care of you. You take care of them and their children. And start some programs that incubate slowly, slowly, slowly. And find models that you like. Find persons that can work in those models, Nirguna, for example, and work in those models and let it gestate and grow. And that's how it will happen.
Trying to come up with solutions as much as Krishna empowers me and the devotees. Two things come to mind from hearing about main topics that seem to be covered here. One is empowering the youth. The thing that comes to mind in that regards is I recently moved back to Alachua about 8 months ago and joined a committee there called the Youth Empowerment Committee, where a handful of youth in Alachua are doing some really wonderful programs. It's a simple model. We're going to have a presentation about it tomorrow. I invite all the youth who want to get involved in their community but don't want to take on so much themselves or don't feel like they can to please come to that presentation so that these devotees can show you how it's been done in Alachua. It's wonderful for me just to get involved in that area. And I find that I'm able to conquer any of my, if I have any doubts, which I tend to try to have an attitude of gratitude, but if there's any doubts, that by me contributing a little bit, I have 2 children, so I can only do an hour or 2 a week, that balance that YouTube was talking about. But in doing that, I feel so fulfilled, and Krishna is reciprocating so wonderfully. So please come tomorrow, see how these youth are doing this, and hopefully it'll inspire you. That's the first thing. Second thing is, in hearing about how to build community, we were speaking to Rana Swami yesterday about Bombay, and many of you have probably heard of the counseling system they have there, and he was just telling us the wonderful things that have come with the counseling system, and also how he had to overcome it starting. And I was thinking that could be a real solution to building communities here. There's some counselors who are willing to come and help communities to do that. We are inviting them to come to Raj. We're talking to Maharaj about that. Maharaj, please can you take a few minutes and talk about that? And that's a practical solution, I believe, in building these communities where these couples could come and help set up these counseling systems.
The idea of this system came when we started to grow. And our hope was that each and every devotee, new or old, would get personal care, personal training, and guidance. And as things grow bigger, the tendency is that that's to become more impersonal. In Vaishnava philosophy, there's absolutely no need for any type of impersonalism on any level. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he fought against impersonalistic tendencies. Because God is a person, and every spirit soul is a person. Bhakti is about relationships, personal relationships. And the world cannot really be inspired without personal relationships. So we started by asking for the more senior devotees to take this role of trying to help, not like a guru or a manager, but just as a friend and a guide, to help people to understand Srila Prabhupada's books, to understand their philosophy, to understand the principles of Vaishnava etiquette, to help grihastas to deal with grihasta matters, to help children deal with their matters, to help brahmacharis with their matters. That was the idea. And I came to America. And when I came back, the counselor system ended. I asked what happened. They said nobody was coming. Nobody's interested. So we just stopped it. But we felt it was so important. Devotees need this. Just try again. The next time I came back, it didn't stop. But they just had no meetings because people weren't interested. Srila Prabhupada's Parampara, when he started this movement in Jhansi, after almost 2 years, there was no results. Everything was taken away. When he came to New York, almost a year passed. There was no apparent, tangible results. If we know something is good, if we know that devotees need personal care and attention at all levels, then it must be done. So it was pursued. And at this time, it's gone from 4 counselors to about, I think, 65 counselors amongst the masters, each one having about 20 families, average of 4 people in a family. And it's just a very happy, united community. And I believe it's because of this system. Because everyone feels personally cared for. And all the counselors work together to help each other, to inspire, encourage, and educate all the devotees. The devotees are cared for and feel that satisfaction of good quality association. Devotees can overcome so many weaknesses and so many obstacles and be vibrant and united. Does that help? Thank you very much. The question I have, I've been around this movement pretty much my whole life. It seems to me we're all here because Srila Prabhupada got an instruction from his spiritual master to come to the West and preach to the Americans so that the Indians would follow. I mean, his guru said if everyone's copying America. So Prabhupada did this. He came over here, he risked his life, and he was successful in his mission. People that are questioning Prabhupada's mission don't understand. He succeeded. He came over here, he did exactly what his guru asked him to do. And as a result, Krishna consciousness is the largest organized religion from what I've seen in India. Now, what I feel like, what I want to know, and I think what a lot of us want to know, is what's our mission? We are kind of like this, they're talking about, there's the Indians here and the Americans here. How do we preach to the Americans without, antagonizing the Indians? And, really I think this is the most important question facing the future of this movement, and whether this movement will be successful here in the West or just continue to be very successful in India. So I don't have any question for any one of you, but I would just hope that we could all think about what we could do, or maybe someone can give us a mission. What's our mission? Because a lot of us are, there are people that have had terrible tragedies, and, we're all wanting to help them, but a lot of us had a great experience. We want to pass it on, but what are we going to pass on? We have children. What are we going to pass on? And I would like to know, I guess I'm going to put you on the spot again, what maybe we could do to make this something. I don't want to. I go to yoga studios and other places and I see all these bhajan bands, Krishna Das, many people. The demand for Krishna consciousness and kirtan has never been stronger. It is bigger than ever. So anyone that's saying there's trouble preaching, somehow we're approaching it wrong. And so I have no answers. I wish I did, or I'd give them to you. But, maybe we can all come up with some. So I don't need an answer. If Ranath, you'd like to just say something, Ranath Swami, and just make me feel like I'm not wasting my time up here, I would feel good. Thank you, Peter. My suggestion, don't wait for us old guys to give you direction. Srila Prabhupada inspired devotees to use their own creativity, their own realizations, and their own skills to spread Krishna consciousness fearlessly. I do believe that you people in this room, you know the heartbeat of the American society. You know what people's interests are, what their fears are. Most of us, we're struggling with all kinds of other things. How to keep this centers together, and many of us are overseas. But your generation, you're living amongst the American people. And you have so many incredible skills and arts and realizations. And you have so many understandings of how things should be done by the good things you've seen and by the horrible things you've seen. Please don't wait for us to make resolutions and decisions of how to spread Krishna consciousness in America. It's not going to work. All of you, you're totally free. You're inspired. Be encouraged, individually and collectively, to just utilize your passions, your enthusiasm, and your realizations, and especially the arts and the wonderful things you know. Utilize them to spread Krishna consciousness. There will be a Hare Krishna explosion in America. If your generation just takes the baton. Don't wait for us to give it to you. Prabhupada's already given it to every one of us. It's in your hand. Don't wait for anyone else. You already have the knowledge, you have the inspiration, and you know the culture and people you're dealing with. Be courageous. Take risks and do it. And you will definitely be divinely empowered with great success.